It came in at 10:42 p.m. on a Thursday. No warning, no fight, just a single line. I don't feel anything anymore. Please stop trying. I stared at the screen for what felt like forever, reading it again and again. After 9 years of marriage, you'd expect something like that to be said face to face, maybe after a heated argument or a breakdown. But no, just a text. Allison was brushing her teeth when it arrived. She walked right past me, as if I were invisible, straight into the guest room, the one she had been retreating to more often lately. The door closed. Lights out. That was it. I didn't chase her. Didn't ask what she meant. Didn't reply. I just sat there on the edge of the bed, phone in hand, and something inside me went quiet. Not fear. Not shock. Just a strange, steady calm, like a switch had been flipped. Looking back, the signs were all there. We hadn't truly spoken in weeks. Sure, we covered the basics, bills, groceries, schedules, but never about us. She used to laugh at my jokes. Lately, they didn't even register. She used to curl against me at night. Now she clung to the far edge of the mattress, her back turned as though I didn't exist. I told myself it was a phase. Stress. Exhaustion. Every marriage has highs and lows, right? Dry spells. I convinced myself of that. Until her message made it clear. It wasn't a plea for help. It was a decision. Final door closing. I could have followed her into that room, demanded answers, but something in me resisted. Not yet. Not until I knew the whole picture. So I stayed still, just watching. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened. She made her coffee, scrolled her phone, reminded me about the trash. She even put on heels I hadn't seen in months. No mention of the text. No glance in my direction. As if we were still partners, still managing a life together. I said nothing. That weekend, she told me about a work off-site, 2 nights in a company-paid hotel. I didn't question it, just watched her pack. I noticed the dress she slipped into her bag. The kind meant to turn heads, not present spreadsheets. By Sunday I had a mental checklist, a growing list of red flags. Her hours shifted. She came home later. Her phone, once left charging in the kitchen, never left her side. A shadow of secrecy followed her hand. Then a name appeared. She dropped it casually one evening. John from marketing says the client's impossible. New guy. Yes. Yeah. Smart. That was it. Just a name, but it lingered. Tuesday evening, I saw her barefoot in the backyard, whispering into her phone, laughing. Toes twisting in the grass like a teenager sneaking calls after curfew. She didn't know I was upstairs, watching through the window. By Friday, I bumped into one of her co-workers, Priya, at the grocery store. We chatted and then she said it. Tell Allison I loved her dress the other night. That gallery opening was beautiful. Gallery. Allison had told me she was working late. Conference calls, deadlines. Nothing fun. That's when the doubts stopped. He knew. But I didn't lose it. Didn't shout. Didn't let it show. Rage would give her power. So I stayed silent. Observant. She thought I was blind, she was wrong. 2 weeks later it happened. She left her phone unattended on the nightstand. Unusual. She was in the shower and something inside me whispered, now. Picked it up. She had changed the passcode recently, probably assuming I wouldn't notice. But I had. It unlocked. Messages already open. Not jokes. Not flirty banter. Words that cut. I wish I could have stayed longer last night. You looked incredible. Her reply. I hated going home. His. Then stop haunting that place. Her reply, a laughing emoji. Kept scrolling. Photos appeared. Dim but clear. Her in the red dress. Him with his arm around her. Another shot, hallway kiss. I took screenshots of everything. Texts, pictures, and sent them to myself. Deleted the evidence. Placed the phone back exactly as it was. She came out of the bathroom, drying her hair. No glance my way. Straight into the guest room. Door shut. I didn't follow. Didn't speak. I just sat there, phone in hand, breathing steady. 'Cause now I knew. That was the real ending. No blow-up. No scene. Just clarity. She had already left. If not physically, then emotionally. She wasn't mine anymore. She belonged to whatever version of herself John had awakened. Whether that version hated me, pitied me, or simply forgot me, it didn't matter. I was done chasing shadows, too. The next morning I ran before dawn. Later I met with a lawyer. Looked at apartments during lunch. Opened a spreadsheet to divide accounts. No explosions. Just a quiet unraveling. If she could smile through betrayal, I could walk away without looking back. I didn't leave immediately. Timing mattered. I wanted everything precise, deliberate. So I stopped asking questions, stopped checking in, stopped pretending. No casual affection. No more pick something up from the store. No more drive safe. She noticed. But it wasn't instant. Slowly it showed. One morning, she looked at me across her coffee. "You've been quiet lately." I gave a small smile. "Just giving you space." She didn't reply. I started training harder, eating cleaner, dropped weight without mentioning it. Bought clothes that actually fit. Stayed late at work. Sometimes in the office, sometimes not. I wasn't hiding. I was recalibrating. One evening she brought home takeout, something we used to share. "Got your usual," she said, holding out the bag. "I already ate," I answered without moving. Her hand lingered, then she set it on the counter. "Right." And just like that we were polite strangers. Housemates, walking separate paths. No longer lovers. Barely friends, that's what we had become. Then one night her friend Naomi came by. I hadn't seen her in months. The two of them sat on the couch with wine, whispering like schoolgirls. I nodded at Naomi as I passed through to the kitchen. On my way back, I caught just enough of their conversation to freeze me in place. Naomi's voice, low but clear. "Have you told him yet?" Allison gave a quiet laugh. "What's there to tell? He's already halfway gone." Then Naomi again. "Still, he's your husband." Allison just shrugged. That landed harder than I expected. But I didn't react. I simply went upstairs, opened my laptop, and signed the lease for the short-term apartment I had been eyeing. Later that night I heard them laughing again. I didn't care what was so funny. I just kept packing boxes in my head. If she thought I'd stay and watch her rewrite the story, she didn't know me at all. I wasn't supposed to run into him, but life has its way of arranging things. A client event on Thursday. Hotel ballroom, overpriced hors d'oeuvres, endless small talk. I turned toward the charcuterie table, and there he was. Navy blazer, whiskey in hand, acting like he belonged. I recognized him instantly from the photos on her phone. I walked right up. "John, right?" I said, extending my hand. "Michael. Allison's husband." He hesitated just long enough for me to see it. The guilt, the panic, before forcing a weak handshake. "Oh hey. Michael." I didn't flinch. Didn't push. I wasn't ready to tip my hand. Not until everything was in place. So I played it cool. We traded small talk. He asked about my work. Told him. Asked about his. He muttered something about marketing strategy. I leaned in slightly. "Funny. Allison said you were sharp." I expected someone more discreet. He blinked. "Excuse me." Smiled. "Don't worry. It won't matter soon." Then I walked away, leaving him rattled, uncertain of what I knew or what I planned. That night, Allison came home late. Coat draped over her arm, lipstick faded. Hair brushed back like she'd been somewhere better than the office. "How was your day?" she asked. "Eventful," I replied. Her brow arched. "Work-related." "Kind of." Pause. "I saw John." She froze in the hallway. "Small world," I added. He seemed surprised. "I didn't know he'd be there," she stumbled. I nodded once. "Doesn't matter." The silence stretched. For once, she had no prepared script. I walked past her toward the kitchen. "You okay?" she called after me, trying to sound casual. I didn't stop. "Better than you think," I said. And I meant it. She never brought John up again. Not the next day. Not after. But she started noticing. She tracked when I got home, where I went, whether my ring was still on. It wasn't. I'd taken it off the morning after the event. 3 days later, while I was making eggs, she walked in, arms crossed, leaning on the counter. "You've been different," she said. "Yeah," I replied, cracking an egg. "I know," she admitted quietly. Then, almost a whisper, "Are you seeing someone?" I turned to face her. "Do you really want to talk about other people right now?" She blinked, caught off guard. I don't know. I just don't know what's happening." I set the spatula down. "Then let me show you." I walked into the study, grabbed 2 folders from the drawer, and handed her the first. Inside, screenshots of her messages with John. The ones where she called me a ghost. The ones where he wrote, "Then stop haunting the place." Beneath them, photos of the 2 of them, hugging, kissing in that hotel hallway. She stared at the pages as if they were written in another language. "You went through my phone," she whispered. I shook my head. "No. I just stopped ignoring reality. You left a trail, Allison." I followed it. Before she could speak, I handed her the second folder. Divorce papers. Her hand trembled as she opened it. She sank into a chair, eyes wide. "So what now?" she asked. "You want to fight? Yell." I shook my head. "No need. It's already in motion. The lawyers just need your signature." Then I packed a bag and walked out. No speeches. No backward glance. Straight to the apartment I'd already secured. That afternoon I created a new email account. No subject, no message. Just attachments, the screenshots, the photos, the timeline. I sent it to HR at her company. By the end of the week, both she and John were unemployed. 2 weeks later, John left her. Said it was too much. He moved out of state. Clean break. She was alone. Eventually she reached out. "Can we talk?" Just once. I didn't reply right away. But I agreed. Not out of anger. Not curiosity. I simply wanted to hear what version of the story she was telling herself. We met at a small cafe downtown. She wore a blazer, sunglasses she never removed, holding herself together with invisible tape. "I miss you," she said. He nodded. "I made a mistake." "No," I said. "You made a series of them." She swallowed. "It didn't mean anything. You crossed the line, Allison. You didn't think it would go that far, but it did." She lowered her eyes. "I thought you'd forgive me. Give me a chance to fix it." I shook my head. "You weren't trying to fix anything. You just hoped I'd stay quiet while you burned it all down." She had no defense. "You wanted freedom," I said. "Now you've got it." Her voice cracked. "I didn't think you'd actually leave. That was your mistake." We sat in silence. She reached for my hand, but I didn't move. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I believe you," I said. "Doesn't change a thing." Then I stood. "Take care of yourself, Allison." And I walked away.